We're here to talk about employment law and how the laws are different in various countries. For this presentation, we've taken three countries: South Africa, Canada, and India. Hello, everyone. My name is Prerna Bhatt, and my group members are Romir, Sonia, and Virgil. I'll start by giving you all a brief idea about the concept of employment law. Employment law or labor law basically deals with the relationship between employers and their employees. It includes statutes, workplace contracts, policies, common law, etc. Managing a global workforce basically involves a company taking advantage of the talents who in turn help the company maximize profits and achieve their objectives. It is important for employers to make sure they follow the minimum standards for employment that applies to a certain region to maintain harmony in the workplace. So if you take an example of Walmart or a company like Procter and Gamble, if they have to operate in a different region, they need to take account of the laws in that region, which include factors like the age of the workers. So you have your minimum age and the maximum ages of workers. Then you have job security provisions, accommodation, etc.
Coming to the minimum age for admission to employment. In Canada, the youngest age for a worker is 14 years. In South Africa, it is 15 years, and India has again 14 years as the minimum age to employment. The minimum age limit is decided by different acts or laws in the given three countries. Canada has Education Act that allows the minimum age for admission to employment. In South Africa, Employment Act deal with the prohibition of employment of children under 15 years of age. And India has the Factories Act which covers the laws to not to employ a child under 14 years of age. Now let's talk a bit about the maximum age of employment in the three countries. For Canada, there is no maximum age for workers, but previously there was a mandatory retirement age which was 65 years, but since 2006 it has also been banned. So a person can work in Canada without being bothered by any upper limit on the age. Also in South Africa, no bar is put on the maximum employment age, but the employee and employer can agree mutually on a retirement age. But in India, the maximum retirement age varies from 58 to 60 years depending on employer. Also, according to a study in India, there has been an increase in retirement age of directors from 65 to 70 years. Now Romer will take over and discuss about the job security provisions.
I will speak about job security provisions. In Canada, for employers and employees, terms of employment are negotiated between each other. Any changes made to terms of employment are seen as constructive dismissal. Other terms are enforced by Canada Labour Code and Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. In South Africa, we see that an employee can be terminated in writing based on the agreements. However, a certificate of service must be provided upon completion, and severance pay must also be provided. In India, companies must make a formal application to the government when altering any terms of employment, and workers can only be terminated based on just cause or if they attain retirement age. Now I will discuss maximum hours of work and length of the work week. In Canada, according to the Employment Standards Act, employees can work no more than 8 hours a day, 48 hours a week, and work for 5 days a week. And in South Africa, employees work 45 hours a week, but this can be altered based on the agreements between the employer and employee. In India, employees work for 9 hours a day according to the Factories Act of 1948, and any multinationals located in India must follow the same schedule. And now Virgil will enlighten us about minority rights and equal pay.
Minority rights in equal pay. In Canada, companies have an obligation to pay all employees regardless of whether they are minorities or not, which implies equal pay for equal work. In South Africa, men and women of all races shall receive equal pay for equal work. There is a 40-hour working week, a national minimum wage, sick leave, annual leave, and maternity leave, which is fully paid. In India, the state directs the policy towards securing all citizen men and women equal. A right to mean of livelihood prohibits any kind of discrimination against citizen on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, etc. Special provision enabling the state to make affirmative discrimination in favor of women. Accommodation. In Canada, all employees are extended reasonable accommodation, under which the employer up to a point of undue hardship will accommodate all the employees. This has been laid down by the Canadian Human Rights Act and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedom. In South Africa, the Employment Equity Act has ensured the reasonable accommodation, which implies a reasonable accommodation that applies to all persons regardless of disability. In India, the Maternity Benefit Act regulates the employment of women and the maternity benefits, which is mandated by law. The Employee Provident Fund is a provision made to seek and ensure the financial security of the employees in an establishment by providing for a system of compulsory saving. The Act provides for establishment of a contribution towards the Provident Fund in which employees' contribution shall be at least equal to the contribution payable by the employer.